Hey, if you're watching this, it's probably because you're interested in applying for the SRRV. And today I'm gonna tell you what you need to know so that even if you do it by yourself or if you get a marketer to help you out, you're gonna feel confident in what you're doing, and most importantly, you're not gonna get ripped off. Hey, I'm Kevin. I used to process SRRV and other Philippine visas as well for a living in around almost 5 years. And today I'm gonna share you what I know about the SRRV. So stick around, grab a cup of coffee, let's get down to business. So I'm gonna break this video down into 6 sections. Number 1 is I'm gonna talk about what is the SRRV, the benefits, and who can apply for it. Number 2, what are the different SRRV categories? Number 3, what paperwork do you need and what are the money involved? Number 4, where do you file the SRRV and how long does it take? Number 5, I'm gonna talk about the top 3 things that applicants overlook that would mess up the process. Finally, how to get started. The benefits that most people like about the SRRV is number 1, it's a lifetime and independent visa. So you're granted an indefinite stay privilege in the Philippines without getting married to a Filipino citizen. Number 2, it has a multiple entry and exit privilege. So no matter how many times you exit or enter the country, you're fine. It has no limitations. And it also does not require you to stay in the Philippines for a certain period of time. Now let's talk about the SRRV categories. And usually when I explain this to the clients in the past, when I explain the categories to them, it usually comes with a visa deposit. Because the first one would be the classic category with a 20,000 visa deposit. It does not require the applicant to present a pension document. As long as he or she is at least 50 years old, he or she can apply. Number 2 would be the classic category with the pension requirement of $800 a month. That's USD. It only requires the applicant to put in a $10,000 visa deposit. Number 3 would be the courtesy category. It is for those former Filipinos and members of the international organizations. So it only requires applicants to put in $1,500. Number 4 would be the expanded courtesy. It is for those former militaries, and it only requires the applicants to put in $1,500 visa deposit. Now let's talk about the requirements needed in getting the SRRV. Now when I talk about this in the past, I usually divide it in 2 parts. The first one would be the paperwork involved. The other part would be the money involved, so you won't get confused. Let's start with the paperwork. There are 5 basic documents that all categories must comply. Number 1, of course, the original passport. Number 2 would be the police check from your country. Number 3 would be the medical clearance. Number 4, NBI clearance, which is a police check in the Philippines. And number 5 would be the application form and some photos. So I'm gonna put a link in the description where you can see the PRA's official list of requirements. You don't get confused. Now, those 5 are the basic requirements that I've mentioned. And there are additional requirements depending on your category. So for the pension documents, that would be for the classic category, the DD-214 or the honorable discharge. Don't get confused, I'm gonna put it on the screen. Now let's talk about the money involved. I'm gonna explain this the way I did earlier. So I'm gonna divide this in 2 parts so you won't get confused. The other side, which is the left column, that would be the fees. So those are the money that you pay to the PRA and never see again. The other side would be the deposit. So it's a lock-in money in the bank in exchange for the lifetime visa that the PRA gives you. Now let's talk about the fees. There are 2 of them that you need to be aware of. The first one would be the application fee of $1,400. So all applicants must pay this to join the SRRV program. The same, regardless of what category you're in, it is $1,400. Second one would be the SRRV annual fee. So every time you pay for that annual fee, you are given a new SRRV ID. So this ID is in lieu to the ACRI card that you get from immigration. For the classic category, regardless with or without pension, you are required to pay an annual fee of $360. For the expanded courtesy and courtesy category, you're only required to pay $10 a year. Let's talk about the visa deposit. Let's focus first on the first one. Classic without pension. It requires the applicant to put in 20,000 USD. Classic with pension, it requires the applicant to put in 10,000 USD. Then the expanded courtesy and the courtesy category, it requires the applicant to put in $1,500. Now, it is important to understand that the fees and the deposit will be going to the PRA, but to different banks. The fees would be going to Land Bank of the Philippines, and the other one would be going to the Development Bank of the Philippines. So please be careful when sending the money. Also, I'm gonna put a link in the description, details about this banking information. Let's say you have all the paperwork ready, you've sent the deposit in, you paid for the fees. Where do you file your application? So the PRA has offices in the Philippines. The main office is in Makati. They have one in Cebu, they have one in Davao, and I think they have one in Clark. So it doesn't matter where you file your application, because only the PRA in Makati will be the one to endorse your paperwork to the Bureau of Immigration for the approval. Take note that the PRA does not approve visas, only the Bureau of Immigration. Basically, the PRA will double check everything that you have submitted. They will double check the deposit, the fees. So once they have completed all the checking, they will forward your application to the Bureau for the approval. Now, overall, it's probably going to take around 1 to 2 months. That is considering all deposits have been cleared, the fees are paid, no discrepancy, documents have been verified. From the day you lodge in your application, that will take 1 to 2 months. Now, let's talk about the top 3 things that applicants overlook that would mess up the process. Number 1 would be the tourist visa. Now, some applicants just extend their tourist visa for a month and expecting it would cover the entire process of the application. Now, take note, there might be delays along the way. We don't know what's going to happen inside. There might be, the office might be suspended for whatever reason. If the tourist visa would not cover up the processing, they would have to pull out your passport and let you extend your tourist visa. So to avoid that delay, I suggest that you extend your tourist visa, let's say for another 2 months, or if you can get 3 months, much better. 2 months and another 1 month, that would be better. So it would cover up the entire processing period. Because pulling out your passport and submitting it back in is a headache. Let's say you're working with a marketer and they ask you, hey, send it to my account so I can forward it to PRA. Don't do that. The PRA has specific instructions on how to do the deposit and where to send the money in. So I'm gonna put the link in the description so you can see the entire thing. So be careful about that. Number 3 would be not confirming your SRRV category before starting the paperwork. Now, I have clients in the past where they thought they are qualified for the expanded courtesy. They showed me a DD to 14, they are qualified for the pension. When we sent the application to the PRA, said, hey, for you to be qualified for the expanded courtesy, the applicant must serve at least 2 years of active duty. A client of ours only served the military for around 6 months. I don't know, maybe he's enlisted or something. I'm not sure, but he said it's only 6 months. So as per the PRA, the applicant for the expanded courtesy must have at least 2 years of active duty, plus a 1,000 per month lifetime pension. So what I suggest in doing this, so before you get started with anything, there's no fee, it's very easy. You email the PRA or get in touch with your marketer, you contact them and have a written confirmation if you're qualified for that category before you start anything. Because every category has different fees and requirements. So make sure you're qualified for the correct one and then begin with the paperwork and send the money. If you can't do it on your own, you can actually hire a PRA marketer or a service provider for free. Now, why free? The PRA actually gives them an incentive for every successful application. So they're getting paid by the PRA for every successful application. It's better that way because they won't get paid if they won't be able to help you out with your SRRV. Now, how to find a legitimate one? I'm sure you can browse over the internet and then your friend or your group might recommend this guy or that person or this agency. Now, you can actually ask for their accreditation name or the company name, search it on the PRA website. There's a website on the PRA where it says list of accredited marketers. You can find their company there. And once their name shows up on that list, they're legitimate. If not, then pick another one. So that sums up everything. If you have questions or if I missed something in the discussion, let me know in the comment section. I'll try my best to answer them. And I hope I was able to articulate myself well enough so you on the other side of the screen would be able to understand and begin your SRRV journey. By the way, I'm not doing any paid service. I'm not connected with any company. I'm not doing affiliates. This is just information for free. All I'm asking is for you to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share this to someone that might need help in getting the SRRV. They can even comment directly to my video and I'll try my best to respond to them. So if you have recommendations on what visas am I going to talk about next, Let me know in the comment section. So till then, see you on the next video. Peace.